Nearly 17,000 Palestinian children are at risk of starvation in Gaza as we speak. This is a subject that I do not want to talk about, but I'm going to be going through a couple of topics on this. And fair warning, there's some imaging in here that it's not fun to look at, folks, but we have to. We have to. And recently I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who was kind of giving praise to France for getting off of their ass and, saying the G word, genocide, and starting to talk about sanctioning Israel. This has been going on for over 20 months now, nearly 2 years of this. And it doesn't show any signs of stopping. Bibi Netanyahu is happy to keep this going, mostly because he wants to remain in power and not get, called up on corruption charges, which were happening before October 7th happened, which yet again, there was also stories right after October 7th that Bibi Netanyahu knew that there was a distinct possibility. He had sent nearly half of his IDF soldiers into the West Bank to steal land or help steal land from Palestinians in the West Bank. And while that was happening, October 7th happened, and the tragedy of all of those people dying and getting kidnapped. Anyway, the stories came out pretty early on that Bibi Netanyahu knew that was going to happen, or the distinct possibility, and he allowed it to happen because it would enable this war. And when you have a big war like this, you're not going to have to go to court over your corruption charges. Anyway, fair warning, a lot of this is pretty ugly. My apologies.
Alarming rise in the number of children that have been dying from malnutrition, from hunger. We heard from the Ministry of Health in Gaza that they say 4 children have died, or at least 4, in the past 3 days, the youngest of them just 3 months old. Now, we have a report. I must warn viewers that some of these images that you are about to see are very distressing.
4-year-old Razan Abu Sahar was hospitalised with malnutrition more than 1 month ago. Malnutrition has caused her to suffer from a mobility disability, her mother says. Her health was good before the war, but there is nothing to strengthen her. No milk in the hospitals or pharmacies. Sunday, Razan became the latest child in Gaza to die of hunger. Her skeletal body laid out on a slab of stone, painful proof of the famine the UN and others have long warned about. It is shocking, but should not be surprising. In the space of 24 hours, 18 deaths were caused by famine, according to the Ministry of Health in Gaza. Yasser Ahmad was waiting at this soup kitchen since 6 a.m, desperate to take something home to his family of 12. Flour is expensive, he says. Everything is expensive. Where can we get food from? We don't know what we'll do in the end. Eat each other? When his turn comes, the amount poured into his bowl is minimal. He walks the 4 kilometres back home. When his wife sees how little is in the pot, she starts crying. Is this enough for 12 people, she asks? Is it enough for a woman who is 7 months pregnant? Even a 1-year-old child wouldn't be satisfied by this. Pouring the watery soup into one bowl, the family eats together. The father allows himself just 1 spoonful, leaving the rest for his children and grandchildren. After this, he says he will go to another soup kitchen to see if he can keep starvation at bay for 1 more day. Israel says the military is working to allow and facilitate the transfer of humanitarian aid into Gaza, including food, adding there are trucks yet to be picked up by aid groups. The UN says Israel often denies permission to move aid or approves routes too dangerous to travel.
By the way, not only are we aiding and abetting this whole thing, we're funding this whole thing. All it would take is 1 phone call from the president. It's what I was saying under Joe Biden. I'm saying it now under Donald Trump. All it would take is 1 phone call, cut this shit out, let the fucking food in, and they would do it. Or else we take away your funding. That's all it would take. Everybody knows this, including the president. But Donald Trump is being led around, being dog walked by Bibi Netanyahu, and nothing is changing. And we have nothing but starving people. God damn it, man. God damn it. This, yet again, this is Al Jazeera. Disturbing images, y'all.
As she sits at her son's bedside in Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City. She's worried about his worsening condition. The 14-year-old is severely malnourished and weighs less than 10 kilograms.
See, this is the kind of thing that you can obfuscate from, like, shooting people at food sites, because that's what they're doing. They have like 4 food sites. They tell Gazans, come to the food site where we have it down here in Rafah, at the southern tip of Gaza. Come down here, we'll give you some food. And all of the Gazans, they come down there. By the way, Gaza, just open air prison. We all know it. It's an open air prison. They can't leave. They have absolutely no control over anything. No food, no water, no electricity. Nothing gets in without Israel's approval. And by the way, before you say the southern border is guarded by Egypt, that's right, folks. They are the second most well-funded country in the Middle East, funded by us to make sure that nothing gets in. But Israel tells them to come down there. They go down there to get the food. They get so little, whatever. They're like, oh my God, people are going crazy. We had to shoot them. We were fearing for our lives. Well, I wonder why they're acting crazy. You're asking 1.5 million people to come to an area to get fucking food because you're starving them to fucking death. Don't piss down my fucking leg and tell me it's goddamn raining. So you get them to come down there. You're slowly starving them. You're slowly shooting them to death. You're slowly bombing them to death. It is a slow-moving genocide.
He used to weigh 40 kilograms and was the pillar of strength in our family, supporting me and his sisters.
Al-Shifa, the largest hospital in the Gaza Strip.
Al-Shifa Hospital, probably the last hospital in the Gaza Strip, because Israel has bombed them all. Bombed schools, UN sites. You remember they had like a celebrity chef that was sending in some of his workers to go down there and feed the Gazans, and the IDF bombed the trucks, bombed his trucks and killed his people.
Seen a sharp increase in malnutrition cases lately. It's struggling to treat patients because of the severe shortage of medical supplies.
Most patients admitted to the hospital recently are not suffering from war injuries, but from severe malnutrition. Even some of our medical workers have fainted from lack of food. The situation is grave, but it's not new. It's just the number is rising rapidly.
It's absolutely disturbing. Gaza hospitals report 15 starvation deaths in 24 hours. Hunger-related deaths up to 101. By the way, the shooting that goes on at these humanitarian food sites, that's what they call them, humanitarian food sites, they have killed in the last month over 1,000 people. Bullets to the head, bullets to the chest, killing men, women, and children. Just taking them out. Just straight up murder. Straight up murder. At UNRWA, we have 6,000 trucks full of food, hygiene supplies, and medicine waiting just outside of Gaza borders. We also have over 1,000 health workers who can provide life-saving nutrition services to boys and girls across the Strip. Why should babies starve of malnutrition in the 21st century, especially when it's entirely preventable? Because they want them to die. This is an ethnic cleansing and a genocide. They want them to die. Another young girl here, 4-year-old Ghazia Abdu Zaire is one of 18 people who died of starvation in the past 24 hours. The youngest victim was 35 days young. Humanity will not forget. we're desperately trying to forget. We're averting our eyes. GSF guards gassed, starving, and fenced-in Palestinians. Yet again, another thing. They bring them to these sites that they're all fenced in. You know, they're like herding cattle. Or better yet, shooting fish in a barrel. Just bring them in on the promise of food. And shoot the stragglers. And then the rest of them will starve to death. By the way, I want you to take a look at this. 14 senators, and not just Republicans, are hanging out with Bibi. Just hanging out with Bibi while all of this shit is going on. We got smiling Ted Cruz here. I guess he's back from vacation. Got no pressing issues in Texas, do you? Adam Schiff. Shifty Adam Schiff. You know, before you start glad-handing your Democratic representatives there, that's fucking Adam Schiff right there. There's Amy Klobuchar right there. She doesn't seem like she's hiding as much as Cory Booker right here. Cory Booker doing his best to hide in the background. He knew pictures were being taken. And there is Chucky the fucking Schumes. I mean, most of them are Republicans, but we have a plenty of Democratic representatives who are bought and paid for by AIPAC. And they are all there to glaze up Bibi Netanyahu. This fucking guy. This fucking guy right here. He's a madman, Trump team frets about Netanyahu after Syria strikes. That happened, like a week ago. It was right before he was about to go give a deposition in front of his own, I believe it was either his own judiciary over the corruption charges, or it might have been the Knesset. I can't remember. But anyway, what we're saying, Bibi acted like a madman. This is the same thing that fucking Biden was doing. Exactly the same fucking thing. Oh my God, we had no idea that he was going to do those things. We can't stop him. One phone call. That is all it would take. Bibi, let the food in, stop fucking bombing, ceasefire, or no more weapons and no more funding for you. But nobody does that. Joe Biden didn't do it. Donald Trump sure as shit didn't. He got $100 million from Miriam Adelson this election. He got another $200 million from Sheldon Adelson for the 2016 and 2020 elections as well. So there is no goddamn way Donald Trump is going to do anything about this. But they will feign outrage. Oh my God, he's a madman. I had no idea he was going to shoot a bomb at Iran. I had no idea. That's him, man. We can't stop him. That's a foreign country. We have no power over Netanyahu. They are literally our client state in the Middle East. They are the 51st American state. Don't give me that bullshit that we have no control over fucking Bibi Netanyahu. Fuck this guy, man. Bibi's acting like a madman. He bombs everything all the time. One White House official told Axios, referring to Netanyahu by his nickname, this could undermine what Trump is trying to do. What? Let him fucking turn Gaza into a resort beach area where Donald Trump in a couple of years can, have a deal with his son-in-law to put in a new goddamn, Trump resort tower? Jesus Christ. Second Senator U.S. Official also pointed out of the shelling of a church in Gaza. Oh, it just so happens that this was a Christian church, a Catholic church that Pope Francis used to call every day to check in on. Well, that church got bombed, which led President Trump to call Netanyahu and demand an explanation. I demand an explanation. Bibi, you got to tell me what's going on. Just like Joe Biden was like, I told that man, I said, Jack, listen here, you gotta stop, man. You gotta stop, or else I'm gonna send you a strongly worded letter. The feeling is that every day there is something new. What the fuck? Honey, don't stop. Just cut it the fuck out. Just cut it the fuck out. This is a man in Gaza scraping spilled flour out of the dirt so he can feed his fucking family, man. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? We're funding this. Our tax dollars are funding this. We are funding a genocide, an ethnic cleansing. We are starving these people. Dropside news. The Jerusalem District Court has canceled Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's scheduled testimony in his long-running corruption trial. The reason why it's long-running is because they're in the middle of doing a genocide, and we got no time for corruption while the war continues. So Bibi Netanyahu is incentivized to keep the war going. And I can't stand calling it a fucking war. A testimony in his long-running corruption trial, citing what his legal team claims is a case of food poisoning. Oh, my tummy hurts. So this motherfucker has got a hurt tummy while he is starving millions in Gaza. I give a fuck about your fucking tummy. Now, by the way, that's him with a tummy ache after he got out of it. As a result, Netanyahu will not testify again until at least September. So he's got over a month now to just continue to kill. Once the court returns from his extended summer recess, oh yes, by all means, court, have your summer recess. Make sure you get some good beach time in. Get rested. Get a little color. Make yourself feel better while all this genocide is happening. Netanyahu's lawyer, Amit Haddad, requested a postponement of this week's hearing, saying that the prime minister fell ill on Sunday after eating spoiled food. State attorney's office agreed to reschedule and push for testimony on Wednesday and Thursday. Instead, the court cited scheduling conflicts. Simply cancel the hearings outright. So he has got a month and a half of reprieve. The postponement also comes amid criticism of the trial from Netanyahu's allies abroad, including President Trump. He's a madman. I don't know what he's doing, folks. And his ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, who recently called the proceedings a travesty of justice. Yeah, his idea of a travesty of justice is that he is actually being held to any account over corruption. Fuck you, Mike Johnson. This is a doctor. This was Trita Parsi. Use the word evil easily, but there is no other way for this. A British surgeon in Gaza. Israeli soldiers are killing Palestinian children for sport, shooting them in the legs one day, the neck the other day, and one day they're all shot in the testicles. I'll play it again.
That these young... But my colleagues in the emergency room describe a very clear pattern where on particular days they'll see different body parts targeted. So on one day they'll all be abdominal gunshot wounds. On another day they'll all be head gunshot wounds or neck gunshot wounds. On another day they'll be arm or leg gunshot wounds. And on last Saturday there were 4 young teenage boys all brought in very, very rapidly in succession with gunshot wounds to their testicles. So they're clearly being targeted to their testicles. And this is a pattern that we're seeing every day, that these young teenage boys are systematically being targeted. And it's almost as if a game is being played, that they're deciding to shoot the head today and the neck tomorrow and the testicles the day after.
It's fucking disgusting, folks. It's absolutely disgusting. They got Cindy McCain. I forgot to show this. This is Cindy McCain. Yes, that is John McCain's widowed wife. She works for the World Food Program. And just so you know, this is not just brown people and Muslims telling you this information. That was an English white doctor telling you that shit. Well, here is a American white lady telling you the fucked up shit that's going on.
So far in this particular war, what happened was we had clearance to go through the Zakim gate we were through the gate. The Israelis had, as you know, they clear everything, and they decide when and if you go in. And we began our trek down the road, and what we saw were thousands of people running towards us, and they were hungry, they're starving. And all of a sudden, the Israeli tanks, Israeli guns, Israeli weapons from all kinds started firing on the crowd. And it was just, it's something that I hope never happens again. But more importantly, our group, WFP, our people at Workforce were there too, and they were put in grave danger as a result of that. No humanitarian aid worker should ever be a target of anything.
Yeah, well, I would also say that none of these people should be targets of anything either. They're just starving to death and they're trying to get fucking food. By the way, we have American mercenaries there who are also aiding the IDF in all this stuff. You know, while they're herding those people into those fenced-in areas, American mercenaries are hosing them down with mace. Just spraying them in the face with mace. Burning their fucking eyeballs out while they're starving. Just so you know, Israel seeks U.S.'s help on deals to move Palestinians out of Gaza. The director of Israel's Mossad spy agency visited Washington this week, seeking U.S. help in convincing other countries. So that means more of our tax dollars are going to be used by Trump to bribe other countries to take in the Palestinians that Israel's IDF does not kill. So if we don't kill them, I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They're thinning down this herd so it'll be easier for them to ship the remainder out to Jordan or Egypt or some other country that we're going to throw more tax dollars at as a bribe. To take hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from Gaza, two sources with knowledge of the issue tell Axios. Spy Chief David Barnea told White House envoy Steve Witkoff, another fucking dastardly Yahoo, Steve Witkoff, that Israel has been speaking in particular with Ethiopia, Indonesia, and Libya. Libya, the failed slave state where they sell people in the town square into slavery. That Libya. Don't give me any shit about fucking Benghazi ever again. You wanting to send these people into a slave market. Why not, man? It's been over 150 years. Let's bring back slavery while we're at it. Why it matters, the Israel government goal of removing much of Gaza's population is hugely controversial, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government claims such a relocation would be voluntary. Yeah, man, it looks really voluntary. They're voluntarily going hungry. They're voluntarily getting shot in the testicles. It's all very voluntary. Well, you could stay here and starve to death and, and stick around and stay in your little Gazan home. Or, you could go to Ethiopia, Indonesia, or Libya to be sold into slavery. It's up to you. It's voluntary. U.S. and Israel legal experts have labeled it a war crime because it's ethnic cleansing. Yes, it is a fucking war crime. Anyway. It's all so very disturbing. It's disgusting. And it does not show signs of stopping. We're not doing anything about it. Nobody in power is doing anything about it. It's just a tragedy that will not fucking end. I don't want to be cynical about it. I already feel really cynical. I'm afraid, but I am afraid that nobody is going to be punished for this. Bibi Netanyahu, Smotrich, Ben-Gvir, they should all be rotting in the fucking Hague. They've all been by the International Criminal Court accused of war crimes when it comes to ethnic cleansing and genocide. Every other nation across the planet knows that this is a genocide. Every time that something comes up in the UN to stop it, every country votes against Israel, and the only two countries that don't are Israel and the United States. We bend over backwards to give them everything. Ultimately, this is more to do with having a place in the Middle East and having an attack dog there to do our dirty work. And if it means that you've got to kill some Palestinians to do it, that is a sacrifice that we in America are willing to make to maintain our unmovable aircraft carrier in Middle East. Thanks, Alexander Haig, for that great quotable moment. Anyway, call your representative. I don't think it will do any good. I mean, if any of those Democrats that were in that picture, you know, Cory Booker, remember Cory Booker did his 25-hour filibuster, not a filibuster. You know, Amy Klobuchar, who ran for president and then backed out when it looked like Bernie might actually win. And then you got Barack Obama telling Pete Buttigieg and Amy to drop out. That one right there, that Amy Klobuchar, give her a call. Tell her you're not really happy about her hanging out and glad handing and, you know, and cupping the balls of Netanyahu. California folks, Adam Schiff, give him a call. Tell him you're displeased. This continued aid in helping a genocide. Y'all, it's got to stop. I'm sick of looking at this. The only way it's going to stop is if we fucking demand it. Meanwhile, we've got all kinds of centrist Dems out there who would call me anti-Semitic for criticizing the Likud party in Israel for doing these war crimes. And they are war crimes. And they should all be tried and locked up in the fucking Hague. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.